Okay, now the question is, how can I, it's a very good question. She asked, how can I create the histogram? Can you please explain? Very good question, Shri. Good that you reminded me. Okay, good. So this is my income, the same data set. You have it here. How do I do that? I just remove it. So you go to Excel, and what you do is, you can put it like this and click on Insert. Okay, I will share the Excel file. Don't worry. Okay. Yes, Jamal and Leela. Yes, I will forward the Excel file. Don't worry. But you need to practice it on your own. Okay. And yes, okay. Any from my side, I'll share it. Look here. I'm going to click on the insert here. And then here you can see the chart here, right? So column chart. I'm going to click on this chart. First, you need to select. Okay, I will show you one more time. Don't worry. First, you need to select all the values in this data set. Step 1. Step 2, click on the insert. And then you can see this one, isn't it? The column chart. Look here, what column chart is ready. Fine. And here, you don't need frequency. You can give some title here. Income distributed, something like that. But I removed it so that it will be, slightly bigger one, the size. The next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the design. In the design, you will find something quick layout. And here you will find something like this layout 8. That's it. It makes your life very simple, isn't it? This is your histogram. In the case of histogram, you don't see any space between one bar to another bar. Okay, after I plotted this data here, you can see the 0 to 1000, 0, and 10,000 to 20,000, one employee, and 20,000 to 30,000, we can see that 23 employees, yes. After plotting these values in a chart, we can make out very quickly this data is approximately normally distributed because we have slight skewed data is there. Oh, okay, Jiva, no problem. Okay, fine. So that this is the one, right? So you need to, once you plot this one, so with this, you should be able to see now one thing is you understood how to find out a distribution for, income or something like that. Fine. You need to have the income column and then you need to use the bin here. You need to specify the frequency also here. Okay. How frequently these, how many number of people or employees are there in each bucket or bracket. This is called bucket. The 10,000, 20,000 bucket, how many employees are there? 20,000, 30,000, how many in this bucket, how many employees are there? Fine. You have this one with the help of this one. You plotted this chart. Very good. Fine, but this looks good. But when you show it to the CEO, do you think you will be able to understand this one? No, you'll say, hey, come on, what is this? I don't understand. Can you tell me? So my question to you is, as a CEO, right? I'm asking you this question. Can you tell me, are we biased when it comes to giving the salary to our employees? This is what a question. Now, what story you will tell it? You plotted it. You tell him. You can tell, no, sir, we are not biased. We are not biased. Then you need to justify them. Okay, we are not biased because only few of the employees in our company that are getting lesser salary. Only few of the employees are getting very high salary. That is quite obvious. Yes, and most of the employees' salaries are ranging between 40,000 to 60,000. That's it. Hence, we are not biased. Only few employees are getting lesser. Only few employees are getting very high salary. And but there are some cases, right? 50% of the employees are getting very less salary. 50% of the employees are getting very high salary. There could be, that is your kind of, biased salary. Again, you need to take a look at that one very clearly. Okay, so why are there any problem with the data, or are there any problem with our system? Okay, are we biased? Fine. Now you understood what is histogram is all about, or sorry, what is shape of distribution is all about. What is normal distribution? We discussed about that. The properties of normal distribution, the mean, median, mode is equal to 0. Okay, the mean is there in the middle, and mode is also there in the middle. So when you look at the tallest rectangle, the tallest rectangle, with that itself, we can find out the median is falling here. The median is falling, sorry, the mode, right? The mode is falling here. Mean and median and mode, all the three values are same in this data set. Got it? Fine. This is the story. You need to tell it to him. Okay, next one is we are done with normal distribution. So normal distribution. Yeah, in the peak of the histogram. Yes, Sri, in the peak of the histogram, it will show you the most common value in your data set. What is the most common value? 40,000 to 50,000. Okay. And the width of the histogram, you're asking about this one? Okay. The width of the histogram is also, same, right? 0 to 10,000, 10,000, 20,000, 20,000, 30,000, everything is fine. Okay. Yeah. So the width is also fine. So make sure that the widths are somewhat same. For example, you are using 10,000, 20,000. Again, here 20,000 to 40,000. You are not supposed to use that way. But if at all the data have the slight variation in terms of the width in the sense 10,000 to 20,000, the interval, okay, and 20,000. So the difference is 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. It should not be like 10,000, 20,000, again 20,000 to 40,000. 20,000, 20,000, fine. 20,000 to 40,000, again, it should not be, jumping. 20,000, value should not jump here, okay? 10,000, 10,000, interval should be that the difference between the interval should be 10,000, 10,000 across the interval, okay? Okay, next one is the customer spend. There is another example for the distribution, identifying the distribution. Let's say, I have these are the data set, okay, amount spent by the customer. Remember that in the case of histogram, in the y-axis, what value is there? That is what the question they'll ask. Frequency. Remember that in the histogram, y-axis frequency, we will plot it. In the x-axis, we will plot only the numeric value. You cannot plot any text value in the histogram, okay? Now you tell me, this is the customer spend. Okay. Now you tell me, tell me what is the peak of this histogram? The customer spend. Why don't you tell me some story about this? Type it in the chat window. You can type it in Tamil also, local language. So the peak tells us the most common value in the data set. That means the mode, right? The more frequently occurring value. You remember we discussed about mode. What is the most common customer spending amount in this case? What is the peak here, yeah? This is the peak, right? This is the peak. Sorry. This is the peak in this case. Very good, right? Yes. How about others? So in the peak, 100 is there. Guys, please concentrate here. The mode is 100 here, the most frequently, right? The tallest rectangle is the most frequently occurring value. Okay, with that we can understand most of the customers or the most common customer spending amount is $100. We can say this way. So we have more customers. So that means, right, there are more customers who spend $100 than any other amount. We can say that. So for example, this is the mean, right? Mean, median, mode. This is a normal distribution. The mean is there in the middle. So this is the most common amount spent by majority of my customers. What do you mean by majority of customers? If you see almost 1,500 or so, right? 1,500 customers, right? The amount spent by them is, majority of my customers, the amount spending is $100. But there are customers, they spend more than $100, 120, 140, 160, and there is some outlier here. And again, on their left side, if you see here, there are some kind of customers, they spend less than $100 also. We cannot tell all my customers are spending $100 in my shop. We cannot tell that, right? There are some customers, they spend $100. This kind of customer, they spend $80. Some customers, they spend $10 also, $5 also, $1 also. Different customers, they spend different money in your shop. But what is the common amount spent by majority of your customer? If they ask you, you just see the peak and close your eyes and tell, hey, $100 in the case of symmetrical distribution. Okay. In this case, the customers spend more than $120 also, right? There are some customers they're spending more than $120 also. And if you see, right, majority of the customer $100 to $120. This one, right? 120, so almost 100 to, we can say 110, 100 to $110 spent by majority of the, we can say that also. Okay, but this is the most common value. Most common value is your peak. And and then you can see the most of the employees, they spend between $100 to $120 also, we can say, right? $120 also reasonably okay only, $120. Okay, and if you look at the tails of the histogram, it shows the outlier in the data set. There are a few customers who spend significantly very less money here. Maybe this guy is spending, he spent $1, but these guys are, only one customer he spent $160, and so few customers they spend more, and only few customers they spend less. We can see here itself the outlier. It's kind of an outlier. So overall, the histogram shows the distribution of the customer spending is approximately symmetric, with a peak value of $100. But there is with that we can understand there is a fair amount of variation in customer spending. There are few outliers also there. This is the story you need to tell. Okay, the next one is the most customers spend around $100. The distribution of customers spend approximately symmetric. Okay, and next one is, so far we discussed the normal distribution. Okay, to summarize the normal distribution, in the case of normal distribution, the values of mean, median, and mode will be there in the middle. The mean is equivalent to median is equal to mode. All the three values are same. That means it appears in the middle, all the three values. Okay, the symmetric distribution is, or the normal distribution is nothing but right. It is a type of a distribution where the left side of your distribution mirrors the right side.